Victor Salamba this very wonderful Friday, the 11th day of September, 2020, dear listener. We are grateful to God for the gift of life. As always, grateful that God is giving us the privilege, dear listener, to be able to be here and to be able to just be candidates for a miracle. Wherever you are tuned in from across the world, I welcome you to our morning reflection. And today, dear listener, I'm picking up where I left off last week. And today I'm talking about simple things that a husband can and should do. Why do I say can and should do? Because these are things that as a husband, they are easy for you to do. You don't need money to do them. You don't need an extra skill to do them. They are things that are very possible for you to be able to do as a husband. Now, I will talk about also, I'll continue the same theme next week, because next week I'll talk to the mothers about simple things that a mother can do. Then I'll also talk about simple things that a wife can do. So in case you are concerned, and you're wondering, where am I leaving out, or why am I not talking to the mothers, why am I not talking to the wives? I will do that in the coming 2 weeks. But for now, I'm talking about simple things a husband can and should do. Because at times, and I've had cases in my office many times where you find that someone is battling a situation in their marriage. You find that a man is battling a situation in his marriage, and it's simply because he just does not know what to do. And I've said this before, that loving someone is not enough. In fact, if you have listened to one of my reflections, I said that one of the things that marriage is not, I said in marriage, you don't assume that love is enough. But because I love someone, then I have full capacity to do what is required. Actually, dear listener, nothing is further from the truth. So at times you might love someone. Your husband may actually love you. Or as a husband, you might actually genuinely love your wife. But the reality is that you actually don't know what to do. And when that comes in, it becomes it becomes a bit tricky, because now you no longer know. You do things and you feel as though you're not doing enough. I've had men telling me, Victor, I'm doing everything I can, but I'm still not doing enough. I still come up short. My wife is still feeling like I'm coming up short. She's still complaining about this. So what is it that I can simply do? So dear listener, you can actually just walk with me through this. The first thing that a husband can and should do, which is within his power, is to listen to his wife. To listen to his wife. Now, listening is different from hearing. Listening is different from hearing. You can hear what someone has said, but you didn't listen. And that happens very many times in many relationships. But actually the power or the decision to choose to listen. Listening means this, that I'll take time to understand your journey in what you're telling me. I will take time and effort to understand the journey of what you're telling me. I'll take time to understand the emotions of what you're sharing. I will take time to understand you. I won't interrupt you. I will not judge you. I will give you the time to freely express yourself, and I will take it in slowly and understand. Translation is, dear listener, I will do my level best to understand you. The problem we have is that in most marriages is that, one, men don't have time to listen. Two, men don't put effort to listen. So he can hear but didn't listen. So you said one thing, he does the exact other because he didn't listen. You'll say something and ask him a same question after a while. He didn't even remember why. He heard but did not listen. Listening, my dear friends, is taking time to understand the thought process of the other person, their emotional, psychological journey, to express what they are saying. Listening involves looking at their body language. Listening involves taking time, dear listener, out of your busy schedule to say, fine, I am here. I have no place to go. What were you saying? And without being judgmental, without jumping into conclusions, without assuming. But one, my dear friends, it is possible that every husband can actually do. Because one thing that you hear most wives complaining about is that my husband doesn't listen. Number two, protect his wife. This is something that comes with the job. When as a man you've chosen to get married, you've chosen to be a protector. You can't hide under the bed. You have decided to be a protector. You remain a protector. Why am I talking about this? Because many men forget that when they get married, it's their business to protect their wives. Those of you who have come to my talks, I've said this very many times. I've said that as a man, first of all, you have a responsibility to protect your wife physically from all objects, meaning that it's your business as a man to ensure that the doors have been closed. It's not your wife's business to confirm the gate has been closed. It is a man's job to ensure the gate has been closed. The problem is at times you're outside when the gate is supposed to be closed. That's the story for next week. But for now, we look at the fact that it's important for you to know that as a man, I need to protect her. I need to be there to protect my wife. That is critical. I used to say this every time, that one, protect her from herself. Protect your wife from herself. This means that you've taken time to know your wife, and you know the times that she's pressing her own self-sabotage button. Meaning you manage her enough to ensure that she protects herself from herself. Many a times she might not know you're protecting her from herself, but protect her from herself. Number two, you protect her from her children. Because at times children can be the first terrorists to your wife. So you have to protect your wife from her own children. Meaning there are times when you even take the children away from her, that she may rest, that she may refresh, that she may breathe again. You know, at times you can actually tell the children, come this side, let's go this way. Protect her from her children. You protect her from external forces. External forces here, I'm meaning thieves, all sorts of people. I had someone sent a message, I think 2 years ago on the show, saying how thieves came into the house and her husband hid under the bed and is asking her, go and check if they have gone. We were Sinemukora, you know. And the guy was and I really wanted to meet this man. Because as a man, you have a responsibility to protect her from herself, from elements, from her children, from you as well. Because you might be her first line of danger. Protect her from you as well. Protect her from your family. You know, you have to protect her from really, because your family might be a threat to her also. Protect her emotionally, protect her psychologically, protect her spiritually, and protect her physically. As a man, that's something you can and you should be able to do. Number three is to speak well about his wife. To speak well about his wife. One of the most annoying things that I've ever encountered in in my office is when you hear that a man is busy talking badly about his wife in different forums. And that is why some of you might get up on can be up in arms when I say this on air. But that's why I don't believe in these groups or I don't know, we call them barazas or what, when a marriage has a problem, then the husband and the wife come and they are sitting in front of a group of people, you know, who, yes, according to Africans, will call them elders, but we are sitting in the front of a group of people, and now they're ironing out their issues in front of these people. I will never be an advocate of that, and I shall never advocate for that, because one, marriage is supposed to stay sacred. Two, it is important, even though you're in the midst of conflict, even though you're on the verge of separation, it is important at the end of the day to maintain the faith. Don't speak badly about your partner in public or in private, you know. And if ever you want to say what is bad about them, I've always said that is why there are people who are there with the responsibility to listen and are bound by confidentiality. That is why they are bound. That's why they have got counselors, you have got coaches, you have got your priest, people you can go to where you can speak and say openly, this is happening in my marriage. My wife is doing 1, 2, 3, 4, but it stays confidential. When I say speak well about your wife, I mean this: that even though you married the worst woman that God made, if you married a witch, you know, the bottom line is you chose this witch. So as a man, you have a responsibility that wherever you are and wherever you're talking to, that you don't tell people, even my wife is a witch, my wife is a witch, but you married the witch, you chose the witch, you said yes to this witch. That says something about you, first of all. So it is important that as a man, speak well about your wife. And the bad thing that I see also is men who speak badly about their wives, kwa mpango wa kando. You should be jailed. You are at the bar with a woman telling her bad things about your wife because you fought yesterday. When your marriage begins to heal, it's a long journey back because you exposed your wife's nakedness. My dear friends, it is important for a man to speak well about his wife. If at all she's the worst person you married, that is okay. First of all, you chose her, take responsibility. Number two, say it in a confidential environment that my wife is like this, she's wicked, she's like this, to someone who will never say. But don't call wazers in the village and align your wife in front of people. What happens the day you reconcile? What happens the day you come back together? They will think you lost your head. Number 4 is connected to number 3. Number 4 is connected to number 3, which is respect your wife. In all things, respect your wife. One of the tragedies, again, you have in marriage is disrespecting your wife. This means this: don't talk badly to your wife. I said I talked about speak well about your wife. Now this is speaking well to her. In front of the children, be respectful. In front of people, be respectful. In private, be respectful. Respect her house, respect the marriage, respect the space. That is very, very important. There are things that as a man you cannot do. You cannot embarrass your wife in front of people. You can't embarrass her in private. That you cannot do. You can't abuse her in front of the children. You can't deal with her like a subordinate. If you share a family business, again, treat her respectfully. In the house, treat her respectfully. Always ensure there is respect. You want to correct her, call her aside, speak her to her privately. Don't correct her in front of her children. Don't correct her in front of the house help. Don't correct her in front of your parents. Pull her aside, always respect. And here I add something else as well. Even to the men who have bad manners. I'll talk about bad manners after 7. The men who have bad manners. Again, I always say, respect your wife. Respect your wife. One of the worst things that happen is you hear that another woman is taking the phone to call your wife and insult your wife. Where did she get this time? But even if you are having bad manners, be respectful enough. 1, respect your wife, respect her home, respect her sanctity. Number 2, again, respectfully say, I have found someone else, nizuri tuachanie hapa. But don't disrespect by bringing things that are not supposed to be brought into the space of the home. Before I go on this break, a very important thing as well is this: you must bless your wife. I always emphasize every single day that a man who blesses his wife is simply telling the wife that I'm not afraid of you, I'm not threatened by you, I am strong enough to wish that you can become better than even I am. It's very important that only a strong man can bless his wife. Only a strong husband can bless his wife. Dear listener, I come back from this break, I will share with you the remaining points about simple things that a husband can do. As you continue the morning reflection, remember I said this continuation from last week when I talked about simple things that a father can and should do. And this week I'm talking about simple things a husband can and should do. Next week I'll talk about simple things a mother can and should do. And the week that will follow I'll talk about simple things that a wife can do. So I have not left out the mothers, I have not left out the wives. Just in case you're thinking that I've abandoned you. No. So we continue, dear listener. On the next point, and the next one is this: is to know your wife's love language. Know her love language. This is a very important skill set I believe every man should have. And actually every couple, even every woman should have when it comes to her husband. Also, I believe also with children as well, But it's an important skill set to have as a husband. And this you can know. You don't need money to know it. You just need to know. What is your wife's love language? Many times I've seen couples coming to my office and the first thing we ask them is, what is your love language? And they don't understand. They don't even know what the love language is. The danger of the love language is if you don't know it, you might do a lot of effort on the wrong thing. You might buy gifts, you might do whatever you're doing, but it's the wrong thing you're doing because the person wants something else. I know of people who have invested. I know of a man who bought the wife a very good car, and the wife said, I didn't need a car. I just wanted attention. That's all I wanted. Never wanted a car. And the guy was so upset that the car cost him a tooth and a nail. Why? It is because when you know her love language, you can minister to her based on her love language. So as a man, that's something you can be able to do. The next one is very simple. Very, very simple. As a man, as a husband, embrace your wife. Hug your wife. Because at times it takes just a simple thing like that. I've seen couples fighting and the only thing that the wife wanted was a hug. And the last time she was hugged was in 1962. That is the last time that she was hugged during the Declaration of Independence. The last time. And it was by mistake because they were celebrating. Since then, she has never seen a hug to this day. I've had couples, and and a simple thing as an embrace is long gone. I had a function where I told couples to hold each other's hands, and I saw this man holding his wife like he's holding a djembe, and he's holding her in a very strange manner. And I laughed. I asked them, when is the last time you held your wife? And the wife just laughed and said, 24 years ago. 24 years ago, And I couldn't help it. It's important as a husband. Those are simple things you can do. Because remember, I've said before that one of the needs of a woman in any relationship is non-sexual affection. There are 4 primary needs that a woman has. And one of them is, number 3 in that list, is non-sexual affection. Whereby as a man, you touch her, you hold her, without the intention of proceeding to sex. Which is difficult for most men, but it's important. This makes your wife not feel like she's a sexual object. Because you've not hugged her in 24 years, but you have 5 children. No, yes, funny. So it is important that as a man, you understand that at times she just needs an embrace. At times she needs a hug. And I'll step out of my way and give her this hug. Not every time I'm next to her, I'm pursuing action. No. There are times I'm next to her and I just want to give her a hug. That, my dear friend, can diffuse a bomb that was going to go off. The next one is this. Appreciate his wife. Every husband can appreciate his wife. I've always said this, but one of the secrets to one of the things that I learned myself is that to limit my level of expectation. When I limit my level of expectation, anything that my wife does for me, it's easy for me to appreciate. Because I wasn't expecting it. But if I sit and expect that it's her business, she's supposed to cook, she's supposed to do this, she's supposed to do this, then I fail to appreciate. But if I think that no, she has a choice to choose not to, but she has decided to do it anyway, then I can say thank you. I can say thank you if my shirt is ironed. I can say thank you if there is food. I can say thank you for various things. Even appreciate her for loving you. Because at times you think you're the most lovable human being, yet you're an unlovable fellow. Loving you is like loving a porcupine. It's almost a life-threatening mission. At times, appreciate her for loving you. At times, you take it for granted that someone chose to stay with you. Yet, in truth, actually, the work required to stay with you is work. Now, Jaijita akamkutano kasema, what is it? Let me just thank my wife for being with me. Let me appreciate her, for carrying my children. Let me appreciate her for staying with me. Because at times, maybe you have done things and she still stayed. At times, say, thank you for staying. Because there are things maybe you've done that she should have gone a long time ago. The next one is this. Be your wife's problem solver. In English, don't be her problem. Be her problem solver. When your wife needs help, let her think the first phone call I make is I call my husband. If there's a problem in the house, I call my husband. I have a problem at work, I call my husband. The car breaks down, I call my husband. Anything that happens, I call my husband first. There are men who, before your wife calls you, heaven and earth has moved. There are men I know who their wives have been arrested because of a particular traffic offense, and the guy knew 2 weeks later. And the wife said, I could not call him because I knew he was not going to come and solve this particular problem. As a husband, are you a problem solver to your wife? Does your wife call you when there's any problem? Be it big or small, can you be dependent on those things? Be her problem solver. Hiyo najua is a discussion in its own right. Because many men are battling being a problem solver. But to many women, and I'd like to know from the ladies who are listening, right, and the men who are listening also, how many of you are the first call that your spouse would make? If anything happens, are you the first call that your wife would make if there's any issue in her life, with her children, with the home, with anything? Are you the first call? Discussion mzuri sana. Next thing is this. Spend time with her doing what she likes. Spend time with her doing what she likes. This is where, as a man, you need to summon every single guardian angel you have. To be deliberate, to spend time with your wife doing what she likes. There she'll categorically say, you spend time with me. It's good to invest to know what does she like. And it's good to do those things that she likes. It's good to bridge that gap. That yes, we'll do this thing because you like it. And we will do some things that I like. But as a husband, I have a responsibility to know the things that she likes, that I can also invest to do them, dear listener. And the last one is this. Talk to your wife. Don't talk at her. Don't talk about her. Talk to her. It is important. One of the primary needs of a woman, number 2, actually, primary need of a woman is communication. Free, flowing, open communication. One thing that drives a woman crazy is a husband who does not talk to her. talk to your wife. Don't talk at her. Don't talk around her. Don't talk about her. Talk to her. Take time to be deliberate, to have a meaningful conversation with her. It will be available on my Facebook page, Victor Salamba, during the course of the day. So you can be able to find it on my Facebook page during the course of the day, dear listener.